Let's see. We're live, right?
Are live.
Yeah. So what's up, low 70s golfers? So I wanted to bring on a special guest, one of my favorite people on the entire planet of my 50 years in existence. He's been a mentor of mine for 3 to 4 years now. He was a badass in Navy SEALs training. And what he really does is he gets excellence out of people. He gets greatness out of people and lets them live their absolute best self right now. Now, my belief is we have unlimited potential, and we have unlimited potential as golfers. And with the right structure, the right strategy, the right attitudes, that you simply can go from crappy golf to great golf in a short period of time. And so the reason I wanted to have this call today is just have Marc come on and talk about 3 things that you need to take action to win at golf and to win at life and other areas of your existence. So, Marc, welcome.
Excited to be here. And it's so funny about golf in general. Golf is, I believe, one of the 2 most mental sports there is, the other being distance running. When you want to question life choices, you take up golf, you know what I mean? Or running. And there's so many parallels in BUDS and SEAL training. One of the ones that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. If they have the right strategy, they have the right mindset going into it, and they do the right action steps. Because if you miss any of those, you're in trouble. But I love with golf because, again, golf kind of attracts a very unique breed. I'm not sure if they're sadists where they like, pain. But when you hit a ball, and I've only done it a couple times, you're the expert. But when you hit it right once, it's like, okay, now I get it. Very much like in ornithology and bird watching, there's one bird that changes your course of you never pay attention to birds until one bird catches your passion. And next thing you know, you're looking at birds all the time. And golf is that way too, where one hit, when it hits almost like a home run ball, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you hit it right and it goes all the way deep center field. Golf is like that, but it is a humbling sport too. And by the end of this talk today, I want to make sure everybody's walking out of here knowing that they can have whatever they want with their golf game, but more importantly, life.
Well, it's funny you say that. Yesterday in the group, Abby knew the game, hit a great drive, and from the fairway, put it in the hole. And so that's going to keep her coming back for forever.
Yes. It's a magical moment because it's just enough belief that it's possible. Now, as you've trained, Dean, it's how many times can you do that because normally what happens, you maybe get one good hit. Boom, there it is. But it maybe is over in the rough. Next thing you know, you go and now all of a sudden you have the best drive you've ever had. But if you don't know what you're doing, all of a sudden you hit it wrong off there. And now all of a sudden you overshoot the tee. Next thing you know, that 2 under par now becomes a 3 over. And then our mindsets start to collapse. Now there's a bigger metaphor here too. This golf is one of the ultimate self-improvement programs and available in metaphors there is. How you show up to your golf game is exactly how you're going to show up to life. Life is going to have challenges just like golf. Life is going to have plenty of opportunities and victories just like golf. So how you show up to the game on a much bigger level, you're going to find that the parallels are spot on. So I'm excited to chat with you. We've been talking about this for a while. And I love the fact that you're doing it. I love watching you follow your passion. Like I said, you're not only a great golf instructor and coach, but you're also going to go ahead and change the fashion and change the perception about golfers. Those of you that don't know, Dean's a total badass. The dude is yoked and ripped and a physical specimen. So love that too. So let's dive in. The thing that I've noticed, it doesn't matter if we're talking about excellence in golf. If you really look at some of the greatest golfers, did they have a perfect body? No. Did they have a perfect upbringing? No. They didn't. But how did the Jordan Spieth get to the top? How did Tiger's an anomaly? I'd take him out of the equation because his dad groomed him from the time he was 2. That's not most of our journey. But how do some of these guys come out of nowhere and within a few short years jump? And it's not about whether you sitting out there want to get to be a pro or not. It's do you want to take your game and your enjoyment and your fun to the next level? Because that's what this is about. So the first thing that I've noticed, anybody that does anything great in SEAL team, in golf, in transforming your body and saving a relationship, it all starts with a defiant decision to want more. You have to want more because if you're trapped, one of the most dangerous places there is to be is what I call in the sea of apathy. You know what I mean? We've said about you can either get angry or get excited, but if you're apathetic about life or about your golf game, it's almost like you're just going to be a glutton for punishment. You won't improve. You won't have consistency. You're going to struggle. Same thing in life. And so part of the process is to move people out of that apathy. The only reason they stay there is, we'll get to number 3, because their beliefs are starting to fall apart. But when I get anybody who is defiantly committed for something else, that's when the game starts. So that's a big part of it. And there's ways and strategies we've talked about, which we've worked with you and that you help coach and clients as well. But if you have a really concrete reason about why, and it could be as something as simple as, I'm tired of getting embarrassed when I walk out on the fairway. I'm tired of not being invited to golf. That happens a lot when you're not very good. People can be very polite. Sometimes they can be very rude about it, but it's like, you've seen this, Dean, when you're really good, it's amazing how all of a sudden you're getting invited all the time. And it's like, people want to be around that. So that's the first thing, though, is you have to have the desire, which means to cut off from anything else. And it's as simple as, I'm sick and tired of not being my best. That could be the decision. And that's a big, big part. And then we make that decision. That means to cut off from any other opportunity. And that's when our journey starts. Because if somebody hasn't done that, you could take Tiger Woods and they can't get any better out of you. You know, so that's going to be a big part. But that's the first thing I've noticed when somebody is about to do something great. It always starts with that huge decision. I want more, and I could want more in my business. I want more for my family. I want more in my golf. So that's the first thing I've noticed.
Yeah, and we've talked about that in the past. If they're stuck in the middle, nothing happens. So they've either been so frustrated with the 100. I mean, you go to Spyglass and you shoot 90, and you go to Pebble Beach and you shoot 100. That's frustrating and embarrassing. Or there's that other type that, you know what, I want to win the club championship. I want to be that. And I've got this student in the program right now, Tracy. You know, she made a decision. She committed that even at a 94 score, she's already told people that she's going to win the club championship. She's already told the past champion that she's going to take her title next year, and she's close to getting there already.
So that's a big why. That's when when the why is big enough, there's nothing you can't do. I saw this in Bud's training and SEAL training. Some of the slowest guys there were the ones that graduated. Some of the fastest guys didn't. And obviously luck plays a part where injuries could come and knock you off. But the number one driver, and if you listen to David Goggins, who's the African-American Navy SEAL, the number one thing that got him through was connection to his why. He knew what it was going to be like. So what she's doing, declaring it, that's powerful. Number 2, she also got an expert coach. That's critical. And 3, if she does the work and is accountable, she will absolutely get there. And that's pretty exciting when you do it, because people confuse where they are today with where they could be if they commit to a better tomorrow. So I love that. It's going to be exciting to watch too. And those are the most fun people to work with. Some people, it isn't about necessarily, like you said, about winning the golf championship for the club. Sometimes it's just that your husband golfs, your wife golfs, and all of your friends golf, but you're the weak link in that chain. That's no fun. You know, going out there and people are like, no, it's okay. You go with that foursome. No, we're good. Nobody wants to be left alone or left aside. And then knowing every time you walk up to the ball, it's like you can hear the gasps behind you. Golf is already humbling enough, but the social aspects can really be those final nails in the coffin.
Yeah, but, I get countless calls when, hey, listen, I'll play, but I make sure that so-and-so's not playing. Okay.
Yes. And for the person that sees themselves as better, they want to improve their game. They want to do it. But the second thing, when you start getting good, you'll find that golf will actually improve your energy, improve your zest and zeal for life. Now, if you're not, it's kind of like it will drain you, because you're like, God, I'm successful in business, but I suck at golf and I know it. So I'd go out and spend 5-10 grand on a new set of clubs and a new custom set of clubs. And now that only makes it worse, because we're still ignoring the real issue. And it's what's in between here, then combined with what's down here, that makes the difference. So to everybody out there, though, that I would say is, again, are you making your decisions based on where you are or what you're committed to do in the next year? So, Dean, let me ask you, we'll talk about the future golf pro you talked about. When somebody is totally committed, They have decided they want to be their best. They show up and they get an expert mentor, an expert coach, and a proven strategy, and they're going to do the work. How far can someone go in a year? She's right now, I think you said, at a 94.
Well, in a year, I mean, in a year you can shoot the low 70.
Right.
But in 3 months, so for example, I've got a handful of people that came in at 94. Fred came in at 94 and in 90 days shot a 79.
I saw that.
And then all summer long was in the 70s and went out to Pebble and actually enjoyed the experience, not worrying about a shitty 100.
Yes.
James came in 90 days, was frustrated in the first month because he wasn't seeing the gains. And I said, trust the process. And then he went out to a trip to out west and all 4 rounds in the 70s. And now he's at 73, 75 on a bad day. And that's his new nature. That's 90 days.
Right.
So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a week, depending on, strategy and structure. Like I said, human beings have unlimited potential. And since we laser focus, just like you laser focus in the military training, the Navy SEALs training on specifics, and then the next thing, well, when you stack it all together in 90 days, magic can happen. So Tracy, she'll absolutely win a club championship. She'll be in the low 70s and she'll be a scratch golfer.
Yeah. And that's exciting, guys, because that's what's possible. And that's the third one I'll get to. But let's talk about the second thing I've noticed with everybody. I'm not one of those guys that say you can kumbaya and get yourself all pumped up. I'm going to be a great golfer. I'm going to be a great golfer and sit on the couch. So first you have to make the decision. And from that decision, then we start going. And again, the first thing that you really need is a proven system. One of the things I loved about what you're doing is, again, mastery is the pathway to simplicity. How do we simplify the game into chunk sizes so that I can get my head around it? Because you figure you're going to have 70 to 120 strokes on a golf course. Every stroke, every situation, it could be completely different. One's on the tee, one's in the rough, one's behind a tree, one's in a bunch of pine needles, one's 10 feet from the hole, one's in the sand. And how to get out of these. But underneath all of it, though, is a system that can simplify it down so that you know what your markers are and you can do that. And that's what you've done so eloquently and so powerfully. A proven system, and whether we're, what I'm doing, helping businesses or whatever, we simplify the process so everybody can do it. If it's so complicated, it only works with 1/10 of 1%, in my opinion, those type of systems are not really that effective. I love it when you can take ordinary people, simplify the process down so they focus on the key 20% that gives the big return and watch what they've done. Very much like the 2 examples you just gave.
Yeah, and I think that's the coolest part about this is we streamed out all the bullshit fluff.
Right.
I've spent $250,000 over the last 30 years to sit this down into 12 very specifics of what we're going to do with your fitness, which is not that difficult. The 5 skill sets, the core strategy, your confidence, and your emotions. And voila, now you're a totally different golfer, but a totally different human being as well.
Correct. It reminded me of that movie with Tin Cup, with Don Johnson and Cheech Martin. And again, where all of a sudden he goes and he's all about the simplicity of the game until he has a shot to make the tour. And then all of a sudden he's got all these contraptions. He's spending more money and he gets so far in his head, his golf game goes in the crapper. And it's like he has to go back and find his stroke. But what it was remembering and getting an expert view outside of himself that could help him find his, that simple swing. As soon as he did, and then again, he did it. But you just said something that I want to elaborate on because you're right. This will take not only your golf game to another level, but your life to another level. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's almost like 2020 has been a challenge upon a challenge upon a challenge. Very much like a golf game. Very much. And if you think you've got it figured out, go up a level in golf. Like you said, it's one thing in your local tour, but when you're at Pebble Beach, well, what if you're playing for, a PGA card? What if you're playing in Q course or something else? The stress goes up, but that's what happens in life. So one of the things I've noticed, and this has been attributed to you, when somebody masters their mindset here, they do much better in life. And the 2 go hand in hand. The better you do in life, the better you can do in your golf game. So those 2 areas feed each other very, very well. Very much like in BUDS and SEAL training and in other cases. People that mentally had done the work before they got there did much better than the people who were not used to a struggle. So, but a proven system, that's really, really important. And that's not just a system, that's also an expert mentor that can simplify it. Because you need the 2. You need a system that simplifies it down, and you need a mentor that can give you that feedback, because as you've seen when you're working with somebody, 1 or 2 shifts, if they're the right shifts, that can get them from hooking or slicing, and now all of a sudden they're hitting it right in the fairway. And then you condition it. So over and over again, they condition the right move instead of, constantly pulling that arm out too quick or constantly keeping their head down too long. Those little shifts that an expert can see, those are the ones that make the big difference. And if you have something, the other one, there's only one area of caution here, that a great coach can get you that, but now you have to condition it. Because sometimes people, and you've seen this, Dean, you go ahead and take somebody, start coaching them in 1 month, they do think great. And then they start thinking, just like in the movie Tin Cup, oh, I got it, I don't need any help. And in 2 months and 3 months, those bad patterns come back because the good ones have not taken over yet. So that's one word of caution I've noticed in martial arts and sales and business, that you want to condition the right behavior so that you're creating the right neural pathways stacked with the right, like you said, physical and mental support, so it becomes who you are. That's really important for longevity.
Yeah, because we look at the motor control skill of a golf swing. Everything that you've already learned, you can't unlearn that. And so with the right simplification, the right strategy, and you do things over and over and over to build a new pattern, and you do it under pressure, so that when you get to the golf course and the scorecard, it works under pressure. That's perfectly said. Right? Good job, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. The other one too, I wanted to just point out too, because you've done this too. There's another aspect of a great mentor. A great mentor and a great coach, he can take somebody 70, 75 and get amazing results. He can take a 20-year-old and get great results. He can take somebody who's overweight and get great results. He can take somebody skinny with no real upper body or lower body power and get great results. A great coach with a great system can take those and help every person be the best version of them. And what happens is sometimes you'll see somebody, it's like, I saw this in martial arts or in professional sports training. The people would go, oh, he's the best basketball coach. Let's see how he does with somebody that's not a 6'10" guard with a 50-inch vertical jump walking in the door. You know what I mean? Yes, he's really good when the guy has those crazy stats, but what about a regular guy? Can he do it with a regular human being? Can he improve their game? And that was where I noticed a lot of these celebrity trainers, a lot of these famous people that we see on the reality shows. They're really great when all the things are perfect. But when you see a great coach, they can take anybody and squeeze greatness out of them and show them how to pull that forth. And that's the best part. That's what I love about in your group. I love reading your deals, because look at the mosaic of different types of people that you're having success with. Men, women, old, young, formerly in pain. Now all of a sudden they're doing it, and you're giving them the gift of one of the most ass-kicked, pardon my French, games on the planet. The most humbling for sure. But when you get above the threshold and you get that downward momentum where it becomes fun, that's when it's well worth it.
Well, you talk about a byproduct of other than golf. Jean, she's 65 years young, veterinary doctor, and she's been in the program less than a month, and she's already lost 8 pounds just from what we talked about, the fitness and diet aspect.
Love it. And I love that. I mean, we haven't even gotten to the other ones. I used to talk to people about golf. You'll laugh at this. I used to teach people about golf solely for the financial benefits. Nobody really talks about it, but it's true. There was a saying that depending on where you are, you can do more business on the fairway on working a floor and doing that consistently than you could in any number of open houses or businesses. But again, if you're terrible at golf, you're not going to have those opportunities. But there's something magical. It's almost like this hidden secret society. When you're really great at golf, people will want to talk to you about business too. But if you suck at golf, I remember, because I had friends that were not very good at golf, they couldn't get any business off a golf course. And I had another friend of mine who was very good. They built their entire business in real estate on the golf course. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let me talk about the third one too, because this one's important. And this is arguably the most important in my opinion. Skill set, you have to do it. You have to get your skills, the basics and the foundation. But in my opinion, what separates the men from the boys, the women from the girls, is mindset and your beliefs. You've watched it. The golf has given us the best golfers on the planet. And when they melt down, it wasn't a physical meltdown. They didn't forget their stroke. Jean Vale, what was the one guy in, remember,
Yeah, the French guy lost to Paul Lowry in the British Open.
Lost like 10. He had 10-stroke lead and lost by like 5 strokes or something crazy in the British Open. Now, granted, those bunkers were 6 feet deep, 7 feet deep, but it wasn't that. He could get out of that 100 times in a row, but not today. He mentally collapsed. He mentally did not know how, and it's got, frustrating. And when you watch somebody overcome, that's why you have some of these younger champions coming up, or you get a guy in his prime like last year with Tiger, which won the Masters. He didn't win it based on his skill. His skill is not what it used to be. He won it because last year his mindset was dialed in. He had really good skill set, make no mistake. But if you compare last year's Masters to his first one, skill set, he was much better at the beginning of his career. The back injuries, the mindset, but him getting back in alignment with mindset, it's arguably the most overlooked aspect in life and in golf. So you're, in fact, I think one of the only guys I know that's actually bringing that as one of your core pillars to get the greatness out of people. Even the best golfer on the planet's going to hit a shot now and then that hits a rock and goes in the bushes. That's irrelevant. It's how you handle it mentally that will determine whether you're at 75 or you're at a 92 at the end of the round. So that's a big, big part of it. And it's like, when I look at this, here's some of the ones that are stopping you guys out there right now. I'm too old. That's a belief. It's not true. It is true. It's not true. There are people that are 5 to 10 years older than you that think they're, as you said, 75 years young. There are people in their 50s that say, I'm too old. Which one's right? You pick. Number 2, I'm not that good. They're confusing where they are with where they could be. That one belief will stop you from reaching greatness. Next one, I have a bad back or a physical ailment that stops me from being great. Whatever injury the people that are out there listening to, we know people who have that, and no offense, they have it as bad or worse with other stuff, yet they're still driving and enjoying the game of golf. So guys, one of the things that's so critical is the beliefs that we allow to take root in our mind are going to become true. And you have to have a great coach who's not just physically skilled in the art of golf, but also can help you move out of those beliefs and give you new beliefs, which are also true, but they will help you move into a 70, a 72, a 74 consistently. Even my belief that I could do it once, but not all the time, that's nothing but a belief. And there's ways that you can accelerate that. Because it's not always the physically most gifted, it's the mental strong one with the proven system that will outgolf in the long run. That's what I love about tournament golf, by the way. 4 rounds to see who has the grit, who has the mental strength on those 4 days. Somebody could shoot a 62 on day 1 and they don't even make the cut. Usually they can, because it depends on where the cut is. But they shoot a 62, but the next day they shoot an 80. The next day they shoot an 82. The next day they shoot a 78. Too late. You know what I mean? You have to have that repetition to do it. But for the people out here watching it, guys, treat your life like it's your own golf game. Treat your life like it's your own US Open or your own Masters. And if you're going to play the game of golf, my recommendation is invest. You've already invested the most valuable thing, which is your time. You've also invested a lot of money in your clubs and in your membership and in your clothes. Hopefully you don't have the ugly ones. Dean, you're doing a lot to change the look. Just kidding. But if you're going to invest your life, do it and do it well. Arguably, it's like, if you're going to do this, I don't care, but you picked a tough sport. It sucks until you get to the top of the hill. When you get to the top of the hill, it gets awesome. And I'm only speaking to the people that have done it like you and other people. But with running, it's the same way. Running is a very humbling sport too. If you're going to do it and do it well, because you only have one life. Why bother to go out there and be miserable every single time? Get the help, reach out. And that's where I would say, if anybody wants to, talk to Dean. If he can't help you, he will tell you. It's that simple. And he's not shy about saying that. If there's some crazy thing that he can't help you, he'll tell you that. But you won't know unless you have that conversation. That would be the best advice I could say today, is get after it, guys. You're going to play this game for a long time. And if you do it with Dean, you're going to do it well. It's like, this is the most humbling game, but it's also the most empowering game. If you will just do a little bit, get a proven mentor and an expert system, a proven system, you get up over that hump. Now it becomes fun. Now the ball goes where you want it to. Now you know how to shoot under par. Now you know how to get out of the rough. And the game will empower you and add energy to your life. And as you said, every other aspect, you're going to walk into your business meetings or your medical office as the person who just shot a 72.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. What's the bottom of your shirt say?
Says many will start, but few will finish. Few will finish strong. And it's true. It's very much like golf. So,
yeah. So guys, I know you guys are in this group because you want to shoot in the 70s. Golf is designed par 72 typically. 36 putts, 36 strokes, 72. You're frustrated, go ahead, hit the link here. I think it's deanchitrin.com/apply. Complete the application. Send over a video of your swing with or without hitting the ball. Just turn on your camera and swing the club so we can see what's going on here. I can take a look at your body. We'll put together a really good plan and go from where you are, whether it's 85, 95, or 100, and get you to drop 10, 15, 20 strokes over the next 90 days, even in the winter. You know, 60% of my students are in the northern states. I just got off a call with Bob. You guys have probably seen Bob's story in the group. You know, Bob went from 100 down to 85 in 6 weeks. And so now we've got a plan of attack of what he's going to do in the winter months. And that way, when he comes out and the snow melts in April, he's going to play 70 golf, 75, 77 on a bad day and enjoy 56 to 86 the next three decades of his life.
Yep. And guys, remember too, if you don't invest in your life and your dreams and being the best version of you, I can guarantee it, no one's going to do it for you. It's okay for you to enjoy parts of your life. If I'm going to do that, it's like, it's okay to have a nice meal at a restaurant. It's okay. You've got the golf clubs already, more than likely. You've already got, some of you have memberships at the club. It's okay for you to invest in yourself and excellence. And it's one of those things too, because the happier you are, the happy everyone in your world is going to be too. Trust me when I tell you that. So Dean, thank you so much for letting me chat with your group. Love what you're doing. You guys could not be in better hands than Dean Chitrin. Love what you're doing. And it's like game on. I can't wait to see all of the victories that are coming in the next year, because there's going to be a lot of them.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. You guys have a happy Thanksgiving. And have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you on the call.